When my mother first came to America, she left behind my father and older brother to work in a hospital in Richmond, Virginia, where the only person she knew was a Peace Corps volunteer that stayed with her family when she was just a teenager. The East Coast is cold during the winter and there are no blizzards in the rainforest. The first lesson a Filipino must learn in America is how to find warmth. Back home, the president has consolidated his power and declared martial law. The Muslim extremists, he says, want to kill us. The communists want to kill us, and only he knows what's best for the country. How do you say to your child, we'll see each other again. Just hold on. It won't be too long if you yourself can't be certain. My mother is a woman of great faith. Great faith isn't acquired with ease. Each day is a mountain, and you carry the weight of distance behind you. When my father finally arrived a year later, I imagine it was the first day he ever saw his own breath in the air. That this was the day my brother learned our mother keeps all of her promises. When they made me, I was just a piece of clay they found on a Virginia beach. They took us across the whole of the country. 7 days on the road. There was nothing left to discover. Every journey isn't meant to become an awakening of ourselves. We moved to San Francisco and lived next to the animals at the zoo. Next to an ocean that was the only thing connecting us to home. One day, my mother opened up her stomach and asked my father to place me there for safekeeping. Each night, we'd listen to the songs of lost creatures. Every day, we listened to everything that was at home and never was home. I wonder what it's like to give birth to a child who will belong to another country. Who becomes the foreigner then? Which one of you is truly displaced? There's a price to knowing you are both a thing that creates and destroys just by being. Yet they will still love you. And to be loved is never painless. I'm gonna do something new. In the afternoons, my mother sent me to the neighbor's house so she could get enough sleep before the next night shift at the hospital. There, Lola would watch over me. She couldn't speak any English, so I got used to the slight variances in meaning when she spoke, and the way she chewed up through her teeth, and how to follow the directions of her pointed lips. She'd tell my mother it was never a problem because I was a good, quiet boy and never any trouble. But good, quiet boys are often trouble behind it all. They don't live here but other places. They always want more than what they're given. Outside our block was an empty field. They were clearing for homes. During the summers, we'd chase jackrabbits here and build forts from spare pieces of wood and cardboard we found at the construction sites. It was my older brother who believed we could take this whole place for ourselves. To get on our bikes and write our own maps inside of this country. When we were young, we used to sit on the railroad tracks. Every train that ran overhead was the song of the world crashing in. And then one day, all the jackrabbits disappeared, and my brother took all his bloody noses, standing between me and white children's fists. Every day, my neighbor's mother would walk me out the front door at 3:30 to meet my brother. That I could depend on seeing him shuffling down the street, his thumbs running up and down our backpack straps, and that he could always see me jumping off the porch to meet him was how we learned to trust those closest to us. This was the home we became most familiar with, how we fell on America before me, and how we always tried to make the word brother mean shield. Soon everywhere we lived was tract houses and strip malls, and every place we could ride our bikes became further and further removed from our homes, in time carrying the responsibility of me weight on him. I couldn't help feeling like I was his burden. We almost fought once, never again. Like our father learned from his father, there is violence and there is the belief that you will use it, which is of itself its own kind of violence. He told me he will kill me. All the capacity for love that you have can make a home for hate here too. How heavy I was not then. What my fingers were wanting to be were a gift unwrapped. I still follow the maps. I still search for the old city underneath. He outgrew everything before me, even this beautiful world he made that I never wanted to leave. The first time I got arrested, I called him after they let me out the county jail. I only wanted someone to tell me I would be okay. He wouldn't stop telling me he was sorry. I never thought everything wrong with me could have been his fault. I didn't know how long I've been a mistake that keeps making. How much I think of him when I see a street that is empty, or stand in front of locked doors. How often I wait inside all the distance and solitude of myself and think, it's almost 3:30. They'll be coming for me soon. They'll show me the way home. I'm gonna do this last piece because a year ago my cousin passed away, committed suicide, and I wrote this piece after. How little there is to know of the body, that we would emerge from the water, never a complete new. There inside is a facsimile of older grief. They say the body inherits memory. Maybe it is just the newer pain, learning to understand us through us, trauma as a wire through the generations. We are not alone in this, I repeat, then exhale each new part, each new breath, mapping out the parts of me that remain hidden. We are not alone in this. I have to tell myself that this too is a practice in faith. On the day the coroner will hold my heart in their hand, what will we call it? Out of commission parts, a collapsed engine. What becomes of the well of ideas, the great imagination, every bit of touch that ignites and remains still? Where does it all go? I want to believe that joy is inherited too. When would they want us to have this as well? Doesn't everyone you love deserve the entirety of you? One day I will be gone from here. One day you will too. I grieve for you already. But I believe grief is an honest gift. It's how we learn to hold the whole of a person. So much of loss is counted inside of the absences. There's nothing missing when it comes to any of you. It's your fullness that overwhelms me. The rich and varied life of a person, all of its requisite pleasures and madness. Maybe there's a way to learn to live with this. Maybe we'll make the place that has learned to love us and our pain in equal measures. In there is a greater joy. I have to believe it is one equal to the weight of our living.